Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Okay, today's the last day and night of Ramadan. I believe Eid al-Fitr is tomorrow in the morning. So, this part one, and then I'll finish my final, um, after my final fasting. I'll finish the Quran, inshallah. So today we start from Surah 67 to 77. So, begin with Audu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Surah 67, Dominion, Al-Mulk. The Middle Meccan Surah is 30 verses divided into four segments, exalting God's glory, enumerating punishment for the devil and his minions, and invocation of God's might, and directives to Prophet. The conclusion is capped by a reminder of divine control of even daily drinking water. Say, have you considered if one morning all your water were to sink into the earth, who will bring your water that is flowing clear? In the name of God, the All Merciful and Merciful. Blessed is he whose hands held dominion. He has power over all things. He who created death and life, that he might test which of you is best in deeds. He is almighty, forgiving. He who created the seven heavens, one above another. You will see no flaw in the creation of the most merciful. Look again. Do you see any flaws? Look again a second time. Your sight will return to you, humbled and fatigued. And we have adorned the lowest heavens with lamps, making them missiles against devils, for whom we have prepared a torment of blazing fire. Those who deny their Lord shall face the torment of hell and evil end. When they are thrown into it, they will hear it bubbling as it boils up, almost bursting with fury. Whenever some group is thrown into it, its keepers will ask, "Did no one come to warn you?" They will reply, "Indeed, someone did come to warn us, but we denied him, saying, 'God never sent down any message. You are gravely mistaken.' And they will say, 'Have we listened or used our reason? We will not know. We will not now be inmates of the blazing fire.' So will they confess their sins? So much for the inmates of the blazing fire. As for those who fear their Lord unseen, they shall have forgiveness and a great reward. Whenever you conceal your speech or proclaim it openly, he knows what lies in the hearts of humankind. Will he not know? He who created them, he is most subtle, all aware. It is he who made the earth subservient to you. So walk into the pathways and eat of his provision. Returning to him, you shall be resurrected. Do you feel assured that he who is in heaven will not make the earth swallow you up when it shakes violently? Or do you feel assured that he who is in heaven will not send against you a hailstorm, that you might know what my warning is? And those who come before them also denied. See how I rejected them. Don't they see the birds above them, spreading and folding their wings? None upholds them but the All Merciful. He sees all things. Who can help you, even an army, besides the All Merciful? The disbelievers are merely sunk in delusion. Or who can provide for you if he withholds his provision? Yet they persist in insolence and aversion to truth. Is someone who walks with his face down better guided than someone who walks upright, straight path? Say, it is he who brought you into being and gave you hearing, sight, and heart. How little you give thanks. Say, it's he who multiplied you throughout the earth. To him you shall be gathered. They ask, when will his promise be fulfilled if you are speaking the truth? Say, God alone has that knowledge. I am merely one who gives clear warning. But when they see it near them, the disbelievers' faces shall be distressed, and they will be told, this is what you called for. Say, have you considered if God were to destroy me and those with me, or if he were to have mercy on us, who could save the disbelievers from painful punishment? Say, he is the merciful. We believe in him and trust in him. Soon you shall know who is clearly wrong. Say, have you considered if the morning all your water were to sink into the earth, who will bring you water that is flowing and clear? Surah 68, the pen, Al Kalam. Mecca Surah, probably very early, of 52 verses, which exalts the pen before offering a retort to the challenge that Muhammad is possessed housed by some wealthy but vitriolic making opponents. There follows a parable, proud owners of garden, and the surah closes with a vigorous polemic and invocation of Jonah's good fortune, a reminder to those who think Muhammad's possessed. In the name of God the Merciful, merciful. Noon, by the pen and by what they write, by the grace of your Lord, you are not possessed, and for you it will be unending reward, for you are most exalted in moral character. Soon you shall see, and they shall see. Which of you is afflicted with madness? It is your Lord who best knows, who has strayed from his path, and it is he who knows best, who is rightly guided. So don't heed those who deny the truth. They want you to compromise so they can compromise. They don't heed some wretched swear of oaths, some slander spreading malicious gossip, a sinful transgressor, hoarding what is good, cruel and above all, ignoble, on all account of his wealth and son. When their signs are recited for him, he cries fables of the ancients. Soon we shall brand him the snore. We tested them just as we tested the owners of the garden when they soared to pluck its fruit in the morning, without making allowance for God's will. So calamity from your Lord struck the garden while they were sleeping, and the orchard was desolated, as though it had been harvested. As morning broke, they called out to one another, go to your crop early if you want to harvest its fruit. So they went whispering, let no poor person enter the garden today without your consent. And they went early, strong in this resolve. And when they saw the garden, they said, we must have lost our way. Oh no, we are ruined. One of them, more moderate than the rest, said, did I not tell you to glorify God? They said, glory be to our Lord, we have done wrong. Then they returned to blame one another, saying, alas, we have transgressed. But perhaps our Lord will replace this garden with something better, for we turn to him in hope. Such is the punishment in this life, but the hereafter it will be greater still, if only they knew. Those mindful of God shall have gardens of bliss with their Lord. Will we treat alike those who submit to God's will and those who sin? What is wrong with you? On what grounds do you judge? Or do you have a book from which you learn that you can have whatever you choose? Or do you have a covenant with us, enduring until the day of resurrection, that you will have what you deem to be yours? Ask then, which of you then will guarantee this? Or do they have some divine partners? Then let them bring forward these partners if they speak, or if they are speaking the truth. On the day of apocalypse, they shall be called, bow down, no, will be unable, their eyes downcast, shame will fall over them. They will be called to bow down when they were sound in body. Prophet, leave to me those who deny this message. We shall lead them on, step by step, in ways they can't imagine. I shall grant them some respite. My intent is resolute, for it is that you ask of them some payment that would burn them with death, or is it the unseen within their grasp, so they can transcribe it? But wait patiently then, the Lord's judgment, and don't be like Jonah in the whale, who called out in distress. Had his Lord's grace not reached him, he would have been cast on the naked shore, disgraced. But his Lord shows him and made him one of the righteous. When the unbelievers hear this message, they will almost strike you down with their glances as they say he is possessed. But this is nothing less than a reminder for all the worlds. Surah 69, Reality, Al-Haqqa. Meccan Surah 52 verses. This references several previous people who disbelieved and were destroyed. The Surah describes the joy of Judgment Day for believers, with the opposite fate for sinners, culminating in a paean to the Quran, announced as certain truth. In the name of God, the All Merciful. The reality of resurrection. What is the reality of resurrection? Will you make you grasp the reality of resurrection? The people of Thamud and Ad denied the thundering calamity, so the Thamud were destroyed by an overwhelming blast, and the Ad were destroyed by a screaming violent wind. He made a rage against them for 7 nights and 8 days together. So you see his people falling down dead like trunks of hollow palm trees. Do you see any trace of them now? Pharaoh and those before him, and the overturned cities, all committed great sins, and disobeyed each messenger of their Lord. So he seized them with a deadly grasp. And when the water flooded, we carried you into the flowing ark to make a reminder for you, so listen ears might take heed. Then, with a single blast, flares from the trumpet, and the earth and mountains are raised and crushed with a single stroke. That day, the event will come. The sky will be torn asunder, for it will be frail that day. And on the verses, the angels will stand, and eight of them that day shall bear above them the throne of your Lord. On that day you shall be exposed, and no secret of yours shall stay concealed. Then those given their record in their right hand will each say, here, read my record. I was certain that I would come to my reckoning. And he will say, in a pleasing life, in a high garden, with its clusters of fruits hanging near, eat and drink to your concern, to your content. For the deeds you acquired in days gone by, and those given their record in their left hand will each say, I wish I were not given my record, and that I did not know what my reckoning was. I wish that death had come to an end of me. My wealth is no use to me. My power has gone from me. The voice will say, seize him and shackle him, to burn him in the blazing fire, and bring him a chain of 70 cubits. He will not believe in God the Supreme, and never urge the feeding of the poor. So he has no friends here today, nor any food except the puss that only sinners eat. Yes, I swear by what you see, and what you do not see. That is the end of the noble. That is the word of the noble messenger. It is not the word of a poet, how little you believe, nor the word of a soothsayer, how little you pay heed. It's a messenger revealed from the Lord of the worlds. If the messenger had contrived any statement in our name, he will seize him by his right hand and cut off his heart's aorta, nor could any prevent him from this. But this is a message for those who are mindful of God, and we know that some among you deny it. It is a cause of dismay to those who disbelieve, but it's a certain truth. So glorify the name of your Lord, the Supreme. Surah 7, the pass of ascent, Al-Marji, or Marij, a Meccan surah with some later interpolation. 44 verses include an opening query about the path of ascent, with a command to be patient, followed by a recapitulation of Judgment Day. It exalts those on the right, but closes with a warning to note on the left. In the name of God, the All-Merciful, Merciful. Someone inquired about the punishment to come. It will fall upon the disbelievers, none can avert it. From God who controls the path of ascent. The angels and the Spirit ascend to him on a day whose span is 50,000 years. So practice patience, beautiful patience. They say the day is far away, but we see it as near. The day when the sky will be like molten brass, and the mountains like carded wool. No friend will ask after my friend, even though they are placed within sight of each other. The sinner will ransom himself from the torment of that day by offering his children, his spouse, and his brother, his near kin who shelter him, and everyone on earth, if this could have saved him. No, it will be a flame of hell that strips his scalp, calling to all those who turn their backs and turn away, amassing wealth only to hoard it. Humans are created anxious, fearful that misfortune touches them, and miserly when good fortune reaches them, except those who pray. Those remain constant in their prayers, and those whose have wealth bears the acknowledged share. For the beggar and the deprived, those who accept the truth of the day of reckoning and are fearful of the Lord's punishment, from which none can feel secure, and those who preserve their chastity, except their wives or their slaves, for which they incur no blame. But those who venture beyond this are transgressors, while those who fulfill their trust and covenant, those who are upright in their testimony, and those who preserve the practice of their prayers, shall all be in the gardens honored. What is for the disbelievers who rush towards your prophet? From the right, from the left, crowds. Does every one of them long to enter the gardens of bliss? No. They know from what we created them. No. I swear by the Lord of every sunrise and sunset, that we have the power to replace them with others who are better, and nothing can thwart us. To leave them to gossip and frolic until they encounter their day as promised, the day when they rush out from their graves as if racing towards a goal. I, downcast and covered in disgrace, this is the day they were promised. Surah 71 Noah knew. Likely American Surah, this recalls the laws encounters of God with Noah, ending with a plea from Noah that crowns his 28 verses. My Lord, forgive me, my parents, those who enter my house as believers, and all believing men and women. In the name of God, the All-Merciful, Merciful. He said Noah to his people, warn your people before painful punishment falls on them. He said, my people, I give you clear warning that you will worship God, be mindful of him, and obey me. He will forgive you from your sins and grant you respite for an appointed term. When the term from God expires, it cannot be prolonged. Only you knew. He said, my Lord, I have called to my people night and day, but my call merely makes them fly further away. And every time I call them so that you might forgive them, they block their ears with their fingers and hide their heads in their robes, obstinate, inflated with pride. So I called to them openly, declaiming to them in public and addressing them in private, urging them, seek forgiveness from your Lord, for he is ever forgiving. He will send you abundant rain from the sky, bestow wealth and children upon you, and grant you gardens and rivers. What is wrong with you? Why don't you look forward to the majesty of God, who created you in stages? Do you not see how God created the seven heavens, one above the other, and made the moon a light with them, and the sun of a lamp, and made you grow, surging out the earth, and will return you into and bringing you out again anew? God made the earth inexpensive for you, that you might wander along with white paths. Noah said, my Lord, they have disobeyed me and they follow those whose wealth and children merely increases their loss. And they have devised a great plot, saying, don't abandon your gods. Wadswa, Yagud, Jog, and Nasa. They have misled many, let the wrongdoers sink only deeper into error. On account of their sins, they are drawn and made to enter fire. They found none to help them besides God. And Noah said, my Lord, don't leave a single one of the disbelievers on earth. For if you leave them, they will mislead your servants, and they will create nothing but wicked disbelievers. My Lord, forgive me, my parents, those who enter my house as believers, and all believing men and women, but let the wrongdoers sink only deeper into ruin. Surah 72. The Jinn, Al Jinn, Middle American Surah, the Surah 28 verses. It's unusual that it addresses the Jinn as curious listeners, then converted believers. Its style is also unusual, with the first 15 verses directed to the Prophet, and then the remainder, a string of dicta he addresses to the Jinn. In the name of God, the All-Merciful, Merciful. Say, Prophet, it was revealed to me that a group of Jinn listened to a recitation and said, we have heard your wondrous Quran. It guides to the right path, so we believe in it and shall never associate any other with our Lord. And that he exalted the majesty of our Lord as neither spouse nor son, but that some foolish one among us will say outrageous things about God, and that we had thought no human being would ever lie about God, and that some human sought shelter with the jinn, merely increasing their misguidance, that they thought, as you did, that God would never raise anyone back to life, and what we tried to reach heaven, and we found it full of stern guards and flaming stars, and that we will sit there at various stations trying to hear that any who tries to listen now will find a flaming star waiting for him, and that we don't know whatever evil is meant for those on earth or whatever their Lord means them to be rightly guided, and that some among us do good deeds while others do not. We follow the virgin path, and that we recognize we will not escape God on earth, nor escape him by flight, and that when we heard the message of guidance, we believed it, and that whoever believes in their Lord shall fear neither loss nor injustice. That among us are some who submit their will to God, while others are unjust. Those who submit have sought the right path. But those who are unjust shall be fuel for hellfire. Had they stayed steadfast on the right path, we could have given them abundant rain, a test for them. As for those who turn away from their Lord's message, He will give them severe torment. Know that the place of worship are for God alone, not call on any but the one God. Yet when God's servants stoop to pray, they almost crowded in upon Him. Say, I call only upon my Lord, and associate not with Him. Say, it is not my power either to harm you or to make you upright. Say, none can protect me from God, nor can I find any refuge except in Him. I only convey what is from God and His messengers. Those who disobey God and His messenger will face the fire of hell and dwell there forever. When they see for themselves that was promised them, they will know that whose helpers are weakest and who are fewer. Say, I do not know whether, whether what you are promised is near or whatever my Lord has fixed a distant term for. He alone is knower of the unseen and reveals to none what lies in the unseen, except the messenger he chooses, placing a guard before him and behind him. So he might know that his messenger has conveyed the messages of his Lord. He encompasses everything about them, and he reckons all things. Surah 73, the one in wrapped Al-Musamil. One of the earliest Meccan revelations is the last verse is clearly Medinian, expanding the condition, but also exemption for Quran recitation. Initially addressed to the Prophet alone, these exemptions are extended to all believers, including those fighting in God's cause. The reference to Jihad took place only after the Hijrah. In the name of God, the Merciful, merciful. You who lie and wrapped in your mantle, stand in prayer for the night, hold by a small part, half of it, or a little less, or more, reciting the Quran in clear, rhythmic measure. Soon we shall send down to you a word of momentous weight. Rising in the night is faster, achieves deeper self harmony, more suited to reciting the word. During the day you are occupied at life. Remember the name of your Lord and devote yourself wholly to Him. Lord of the East and West, there is no God but He. So take Him as your guardian. Bear patiently what they say, and depart from them graciously. And leave to me those who disbelieve, the ones who live in ease, and endure them for a while. We have shackles for them and a blazing fire, as well as food that chokes and a painful torment. On the day when the earth and the mountains shake, and the mountain crumbles to heaps of sand, people who we have sent a messenger as a witness to you. We have sent a messenger to Pharaoh. Pharaoh disobeyed the messenger. We brought ruinous torment upon him. If you disbelieve, then how can you be mindful of a day that will turn the hair of children gray, when the sky is torn asunder and the promise of God fulfilled? This is a reminder. So let those who desire take a path to their Lord. The Lord knows that you stand in prayer almost 2/3 of the night, sometimes a half or a third of it, alone with a group of those who wish you. God determines night and day in due measure. He knows that you cannot keep count, so He turns to you relenting. Recite them as much of the Quran as you can with ease. He knows that some of you are ill or traveling the earth seeking the bounty of God or fighting in the God's cause. So read as much as you can with ease. Be steadfast in prayer and give what is due to charity. Lend to God beautiful loan. For whatever God you accrue in your debts, for whatever good you accrue in your deeds, you shall find it there with God, better and greater in reward. Seek God's forgiveness. For He is forgiven, ever merciful. Surah 74, the one enfolded. Mudathir. The opening verse from this very early Meccan Surah of 56 verses refers to the people as wearing a dithar or mantle. It enjoins him to patience, but also exolerates one who opposes him, detailing the punishment of hell fire with a reference to its 19 custodians. The remainder of the surah expresses the warning of humankind with a The decisive reminder that God alone is the source of mindfulness, the source of forgiveness. In the name of God, the All Merciful and Merciful. You who are enfolded in your mantle, arise and warn, and magnify your Lord. Keep your garments pure, shunning uncleanness. Do not give in order to seek gain, but be patient because of your Lord. When the trumpet is sounded, that day will be a harsh day, with no ease for those who disbelieve. Leave me to deal with the person I created alone, to whom I granted extensive wealth, and shoulder by his side, he for whom I laid out a path of ease. Still he wishes that I give more. No, for he has stubbornly defied our sign. Soon I will place him in steep hardship, for he plundered and plotted. May he perish for the way he plotted. Yes, may he perish for how he plotted. First he looked, then he frowned and scolded, then turned away in his pride, saying, This Quran is but old style sorcery. It is nothing but the speech of a mortal. Soon I shall turn him in the fire of hell. And what will make you grasp what the fire of hell is? It spares none, and it leaves none, scorching the flesh of human. 19 guards stand over it, and we have placed none but angels as guardians of the fire. We have fixed their numbers only as a trial for disbelievers, so that those are given the book will be certain, and that believers' night be stronger on faith. Neither those given the book nor the believers will harbor doubt, but those whose hearts are deceived, and the disbelievers will say, What does God mean by this parable? In this day, God lets stray whom he will and guides whom he will, and none knows your Lord's forces but he. And this is nothing less than a message for humankind, known by the moon, and by the night though it receives, by the dawn as it rises into light. This is one of the greatest signs, a warning to humankind, to any among you who advances or retreats. Every soul will be bound by its deeds, except for those on the right, who will be in gardens asking one another concerning the sinners, What led you into the fire of hell? They will answer, We were not among those who prayed, nor did we feed the poor. Rather, we indulged with others in idle talk, and denied the day of reckoning, until there came upon us the certainty of death. There's no intercession by any intercessors shall help them. Was it wrong with them, or makes them turn away from the message, as if they were frightening wild asses in flight from a lion? Yes, each one of them wants to be furnished with scrolls unfurled. No, they have no fear of the hereafter. Yes, this is a reminder. Let those who will keep in mind, yet none will keep it in mind except as God wills. He is the source of mindfulness, the source of forgiveness. Surah 75 Resurrection Al Qiyamah. The series of short passages, this early Meccan Surah 40 verses deals with familiar themes of resurrection and judgment. It also contains instruction of Quran recitation and the rebuke of a denier who remain with remainders for all humankind. In the name of God, the All Merciful, Merciful. Indeed, I swear by the day of resurrection, and indeed I swear by the self-reproaching soul. Do humans think we won't reunite their bones? In fact, we're able to remove their very fingertips. Yet humans want to deny what lies before them, asking, "When is the day of resurrection?" When their sight is dazzled, and the moon eclipsed, and the sun and moon are joined together. That day, people will say, "Where is any escape?" But no, there will be no refuge. That day is only repose. Will be with your Lord. That day, humans will be told, "What did they, what they did and did not do?" Yes, humans will witness against themselves, so they offer their excuses. Prophet, do not scramble your tongue hurrying to recite the Quran. It is He who will ensure its recollection and recitation. When we recite it, follow the recital precisely. Then it is for us to make it clear. Yet you will love the, not, the now, all of you, and neglect the hereafter. Some faces that day will be gleaming. as they look forward to their Lord. And other faces that day will be filled with gloom, imagining the calamity about to crush them. When the soul rises to the throat on its way out of the body, and is asked who can convey him, and when he grasps that this is the parting of soul from body, his legs look together. That day he will be driven towards your Lord. He neither believed the truth nor prayed. Rather, he denied the truth and turned away, went back to his people, swaggering. Closer and closer to you is woe, closer still and closer. The human think that would be left unquestioned, were they not first a drop of ejected sperm that became a clot. God created it and shaped it, making it from it two sexes, male and female. See then not able to bring dead back to life. Surah 76, Humankind. Al-Insan. Made of making Surah 31 verses, this extols creation and reprimands the disbeliever before detailing how the righteous will be rewarded. He chooses with a firm reminder of the Prophet to wait patiently for your Lord's judgment and to trust the will of God who is all knowing and all wise. In the name of God, the Merciful and Merciful. Was there not a time when humankind was nothing to speak of? We created humankind from a drop of mingled sperm to try them. We gave them hearing and sight. We have shown them the way wherever they are, grateful or not. For the disbelievers, we have prepared chains, shackles, and a blazing fire. The righteous shall drink from a cup tinged with gem, a fountain where God's servants drink, flowing freely at their will. They fulfill their vows and fear a day whose misery shall be spread far and wide. And despite their love of it, they donate their food to the poor, the orphan, and the prisoner of war, saying, we feed you, seeking only the face of God. We desire from you neither reward nor thanks. We only fear that from our Lord a day of wrath and distress, that God will save them from the misery of that day and will cast over them radiance and joy. He will reward them for their patience with a garden and robes of silk. Recalling though they are on couches, they shall know neither burning sun nor being biting cold. The shades of the gardens shall spread over them, its fruits lowered before them, and there will be passed among them vessels of silver and gobs of crystal, crystal clear silver, in what measure they will. They will be given drink from a cup flavored with ginger, from a mountain there called Salsabil, and there shall pass among them more youths to serve. To see them, you will think they were perils scattered, and when you look, you will see there only bliss and a glorious kingdom. They shall be robed in garments of green silk and rich brocade, adorned with bracelets of silver, and their Lord will give them a pure drink, saying, this is your reward. Your endeavor is commended. It is we who have revealed to you the Quran and sages. So wait patiently for your Lord's judgment. Take no heed of the sinners and disbelievers among them, and remember the name of your Lord morning and evening. Bow down to him in the night, glorifying him in the long hours of night. These people love the life here, leaving aside all doubt, all thought of a coming day that shall weigh heavily. It is we who created them and strengthened their forms, but whenever we will, we can replace them. This is but a reminder that those who will take a path towards their Lord. Yet you who do not will accept as God's wills, for God is all knowing, all wise. He will admit into his mercy whom he will. Our wrongdoers he has prepared a painful torment. Surah 77. Those sent out. Al-Mursalat. Narrowly making verses, 50 verses, set forth the sign and certainty of the day decision, before elaborating on the calamities that will befall schemers, deniers, and liars on that day. In the name of God, the All-Merciful and Merciful. By the wind send out one after another, which storms violently scattered widely, and those who distinguish by a criterion, bringing down a reminder, for forestalling all excuse of issuing warning. What you are promised shall come to pass. When the stars are extinguished, when the sky is torn asunder, when the mountains are blown away in dust, when the messengers are gathered into a chosen time. For which day are the events held back? For the day of decision, and what will make you breath? For the day of decision is. Woe that day to those who deny the truth. Did we not destroy earlier people? Shall we not make later peoples follow them? This is how we deal with sinners. Woe that day to those who deny the truth. Did we not create you from a lowly fluid, which we launched into a secure home for decree time? It is we who decree, and how superlatively. Woe that day to those who deny the truth. Did we not make the earth the vessel for the living and the dead, and place their sturdy high mountains, and give you sweat water to drink? Woe that day to those who deny the truth. They will be told, go that you to what you always denied. Go to that shadow of smoke rising in three pillars that yields no shade and will reveal no help against the flame. It throws you out sparks and slashes castles. And if you were yellow camels, woe that day to those who deny the truth. That will be a day they are unable to speak, nor will they have leave to make pleas. Woe that day to those who deny the truth. That will be the day of decision. We shall gather you, those before you. So if you have a scheming against me now, woe that day to those who deny the truth. The righteous shall be among shades and springs, with whatever of fruit they desire. Eat and drink your content, and reward for all your deeds. In this way we reward those who do good deeds. Woe that day to those who deny the truth. They will hold, eat, and enjoy for a while. You who are sinners, woe to that day, those who deny the truth. And they are told, bow down, they do not know. Woe to that day to those who deny the truth. What message ever would they believe after this? All right. All right, tonight I will, inshallah, finish the Quran. I'm actually excited. Finally read it, the entirety of it. Oh, excuse me. Finish praying Fajr. Ooh. Thank you, everybody. Last night of Ramadan. Tomorrow is Eid. We have a wonderful, wonderful day. Continue your prayers. Seeking um, God's wisdom, and may we all grant Jannah. So, with that, I'll leave you and say, Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.